G'day and welcome to another edition of Hef's Homebrew. Well, this is the tasting of the coffee milk stout. It's been in the keg now for just over 4 weeks. This is what it looks like. Very dark in colour. There is just a kind of very slight brown tinge there at the bottom. But yeah, pretty dark. It did pour. Look, with the head, actually, with the head formation and retention, I might as well cover that now. First few pours in the first couple of weeks, there was not much head on the pour at all, and what there was dissipated very quickly. 4 weeks in, it's now pouring with a pretty nice, dense, creamy looking head. If you have a look where the line is now, where the top of the liquid is, the beer is, I mean, the foam cap was up to the top of the glass. Still retention not great, but that's what happens when you use coffee, as far as I can tell. So anyway, let's have a quick look at what happened since brew day. So after pitching the yeast, I had 16 degrees for a couple of days, up to 18 degrees for a few days after that, and then 5 or 6 days at 20 degrees to finish. Added the coffee on day 10. It was there for 2 days, still at 20 degrees, and then started the cold crash. Was in the fermenter in total for 15 days, and then it was kegged. And then 2 weeks at 12 psi, and this is it. Just over 4 weeks since then. All right, let's have a go at the aroma. Chocolate and coffee. There is some sweetness coming through. You can tell that there is some lactose in there, and that it's a milk stout. You know, it's kind of a creamy chocolate coffee type smell coming through. Smells really nice. It's not hugely aromatic, but it's there and it's pleasant. Let's go in for a taste. Cheers. All right. As you can imagine, this is not the first beer, not the first pour that I've had, and I did say, you know, when I was talking about the head, it was obvious that I'd had a few pints already. I'll talk about what's good about it, and what I like about the beer, and then what I think could and should be improved. So first of all, with the flavour, I found, especially as it starts to warm up, it's got a really nice biscuity, toasty malt base coming through from the Golden Promise, I assume, and maybe a bit from the Crystal as well. On top of that, there's a milk chocolate flavour, and then obviously the combination of the cold brewed coffee, but also those dark roasted malts, providing that coffee flavour as well. It's come together really nicely. It's a smooth, rounded flavour. There's a bit of a dryness about the finish. Certainly the coffee adds to the perceived dryness of the finish. There is some sweetness there, but it's not overly sweet. I think it would be sessionable. This beer finished at 1018. So the starting gravity was 1050, finished at 1018, so giving us an ABV of 4.2%. So that's really reflected too in, and if I were to buy this beer, buy a commercial version of this beer, my first criticism would be that it's lacking body. it's it's too thin. It's too thin. It's not unpleasant. It's not watery, but I think for the style, it really needs more body. I think probably two reasons for the lack of body. If you watched my brew day video of the Munich Helles, I think what I've discovered really is that my efficiency when I'm doing that partial mash is a little bit lower, so lower than expected. So what I would do next time actually is not add any extra grains or anything like that. I think what I would do is actually try adding some dark dry malt extract and also upping the oats. So what I've written down is that I'd actually leave everything the same, but add an extra 300 grams of dark dry malt extract and up the oat extract. There's 200 grams in this. I'd up that to 300 grams as well. And what I would hope then is that would give us a higher starting gravity. The dark dry malt extract that wouldn't be fully fermentable, so that should leave a bit more body in the finished product. I think the coffee actually kind of adds to that, at least the perception of lack of body, because it just gives that, as I said before, that dryness with the finish. But I think there's a base of a really good beer there. I certainly will have another crack at this one. I don't know if I will do another stout this winter, but certainly I've made it a thing to do at least one every year. So if not before, then the 2027 version, as I said, I would make those adjustments, try and get the ABV up around 5% and a bit more body in the finished product. Don't want it super heavy, don't want it super high alcohol content, but it just needs a bit more. Having said that, for my purposes, it's perfectly fine. If I had to give it a score out of 5, I'd give it a 3.5. The appearance is good, the aroma is good, the flavors, as I said, the flavors are nice. It's what I was going for. Just needs a bit more body, a little bit more alcohol content as well. So there you go. That's the coffee milk stout. If you're still watching, and you also watched the Munich Helles brew day video that went up reasonably recently, it's going to be a little while for the tasting video on that one. I did say kind of 2 to 4 weeks, but what has happened since I filmed that, I actually dropped one of my spare kegs off at one of my local independent breweries. They're doing exceptionally cheap keg fills this week, so I'm getting a keg of 5-barrel pale ale for $99, which even at very conservative estimates works out to be about $2.20 a schooner. It's a great beer, and I'm really looking forward to having it on keg at home. So what's going to happen is, at the moment, I've got the stout on one tap, and then the other, the Munich Helles, is carbonating on the other side. Once that's carbonated, I'm going to put that in my fermenting fridge, and I'm going to let it lager probably for at least a month. Actually, I'll whack the 5-barrel pale ale on that tap and drink that. When that's done, then the Helles will come on. And what I'm also looking at doing then to replace this when this is gone is another partial mash brew, but having a look at doing a Tooheys Old clone, which I'm very excited about. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time on Hef's Homebrew.